everybody. We are here today in the Going Local studio, and I have a very special guest with me. I have Eleanora Ferrante from Square Peg Square Hole Coaching. How are you, Eleanora?
I'm great, Melissa. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I want to know all about your business. What is Square Peg Square Hole Coaching?
So we are a company that works with high school, college students, helping them figure out who they are and where they're going. So officially, college and career advisors.
Okay.
I think we're so much more.
Yeah, I went to your website. You are definitely much more. All right, so let's walk through the process here. I am let's say a sophomore, maybe like beginning of the year, end of the year, middle of the year. I want to go to college. My parents and I come to you. What is the process? How does this whole thing work?
You know, no matter when I get you, the first thing I want to do is know who you are.
Yeah.
Right? And my children laugh at me, my own personal children, right? Because I'm always asking questions and I want to make connections and figure out, how do I know that person? How can I know more? So when I first meet a sophomore, junior, we'll sit down and we'll do some career work. And through assessments, trying to really understand what their strengths are, what are some words that describe them. You know, if you ask somebody who's 15, give me a couple words to describe yourself. I always get, I'm dedicated, I'm empathetic, I'm hardworking. That's very nice.
Yeah.
But when I describe myself, I tell them I'm a learner, achiever, positive, connected, arranger. And they go, wow, what does that mean? I'm like, right, you're a little bit more intrigued. And that's the whole idea, is to find out who you really are and really appreciate that. That's the biggest ticket, I think, for a lot of these kids that they don't understand. They are somebody special and unique.
Yep.
And I want to know who that person is so I can help them get to the next place.
That's amazing. Do you ever find that when they come in with parents that you're kind of having a battle between the two of them where the kid's not sure who they are yet and the parents already decided who they are?
Sometimes I do, and it's interesting because I think there are times when the parents are right, if they really know their kids and they have a good understanding. And other times, it's because the kid just hasn't had a chance to start exploring.
Yep.
Right? You know, when you're 15 years old, you change your mind more often than women change shoes.
Yeah.
Right? And they are constantly trying to figure out, oh, I think I like this, I think I like that. I really want to be an artist, but everybody tells me I'm not going to make money doing that, so therefore I'm going to go into engineering, which could be a nice offset of that, right? You're still designing and thinking and solving problems. But if you really want to be an artist, is there some way to really make that work for you?
Yeah.
Right? So sometimes I find kids have these preconceived notions. All my friends are going to business school.
I have to too.
Have to too.
Yep.
Right?
And so you take that all away from you say, no, we're going to find out what you want to do and how you're going to do this the right way.
Yeah, and the range is huge that I work with. You know, I have some kids who, they're great with their hands.
Okay.
Right, so how do we figure out how you can use your hands in business?
Yeah.
If that's where where you want to go, or can you use it in a STEM field, or could you use them as a teacher?
Yeah.
Right, so I want them to think about what their interests are, what they're good at, and then what are the different places that you can use it? I always say my son and I are both teachers, but he teaches middle and high school business and social studies.
Yeah.
And I come in and I do workshops, I do webinars, and I work one-on-one and teach you. I never grade a paper.
Yep, totally different stuff. Yeah.
Right? So you have the same career, but you can do it in different ways.
I noticed that when I was growing up, I always thought there was just, lawyer, doctor, author, and there's now all these other options you can do. And I'm sure it makes you just get so excited with all that there is for them. They have no idea, right?
I know, and it's really so much fun, especially as you come in as a sophomore. Then we're talking about what kind of classes do you want to take next year, right? Because junior year is the first year you get a chance to start exploring class.
You can choose. You can do electives. I missed that. I'd love that.
Right, and a lot of the schools now are going to 9 periods. If they weren't doing that before, they're adding it back in. So it gives you so many more options, right? And there are a ton more AP classes. There's a lot more art classes. There's just so many more choices. So I help them pick and choose.
Yeah.
Right. What would be classes that could really give you a chance to explore more?
Yep.
But what are the colleges looking for as well? Because they don't want you to get ready to apply to college and then realize you pick courses that aren't what you needed.
Yep.
And that's the worst thing for me, right? If I get you too late in the process and I go, yeah, you took statistics, but you really needed calc, right? That's not what I want.
Yep.
The other piece to it is what activities, right? So COVID did a number on our kids.
Yeah,
that's obvious,
100%.
right? You can read about that anywhere. What I'm trying to do is help these kids find ways back into the world.
Good.
Right? What are those activities? Over the summer, you might want to volunteer someplace.
Yep.
Maybe you want to get a job. Maybe you want to take classes. And sometimes those are at a local college.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're online. You can watch Serena Williams learn to play tennis.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
So why not? Why not figure out what are those ways that I can learn more about who I am and what I want to do? My goal is for you to find the school that's the right school for you and get you out in the right amount of time. Sometimes that's 4 years, sometimes that's 5 if you're doing a +1, right? But I want you there getting the most out of that college experience and being really engaged and really happy. The question I always get, what's the best school for me?
Yeah, let's find out.
Right? So, and that's the question is really, well, who are you? What are your academic needs? What are your social needs? What are your financial needs?
Yeah,
right.
Great questions.
There's no reason to spend a fortune on college. There really isn't.
It's an education.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. And so, what's the school that you're going to go to and be really engaged? And sometimes that is one of the Ivies.
Yep.
And sometimes that's a great public school. And sometimes it's a small liberal arts.
Yeah.
Right. So you need to have a good sense of yourself. Walk on those campuses, get a real feel. And go, this is the place for me.
I think that all starts when you just said earlier about how when you're getting someone, excited about their classes and electives and that kind of stuff, I think that is the spark of this entire thing, what you're giving them. Because for me, I took my psychology class, I think, in like 11th grade, and I loved that class. And because of that, I went to school for psychology and sociology. And it totally sparked me into doing all that. Before that class, I didn't know if I wanted to take it or not, but it sounded interesting, and I get that. And it got me through all of my stuff because it was exciting to me. I got to know myself through that class. I got to know what my interests were.
Right.
And I wish you were around when I was younger, because I could have used you a lot. My gosh darn, Eleanora.
I hear that from a lot of parents.
Yeah.
Right. And I think it's tough because the kids, they really want to know who they are. We don't have enough of that breadth in terms of guidance counselors are overloaded.
100%.
Right?
300,
400 students. How do you get to know your kids? I have that true opportunity to get to really know them and to work with them. And look, they keep coming back.
Yeah.
So, I've got students now, they're off to college, and then they realize, I want to try get into this master's program, or I need to get an internship. I need more help. I'm really not sure if this was the right major. I went in undeclared, and I still haven't quite figured it out.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that they come back.
And want to know more.
Yeah.
So now when they're in the program, what exactly goes on with it? Let's just say, I've done my assessment. I kind of know what I want to do now. I know where I want to be going. What is our next steps?
Yep. So a lot of the work in sophomore year, junior year is, like I said, activities and figuring that piece of it out. How do you find leadership roles?
Yep.
I don't need you to be in charge of everything. Pick the one or two things that are really important to you and dive deep into that. But I also try to get the kids visiting a lot of schools. So what I love about Long Island, we have so many great colleges.
Yeah.
Right? So you've got SUNY Stony Brook, one of the top tier
Yep.
ones. Right? My daughter's there.
Yep.
Phenomenal programs.
Great school.
Right? You've got Hofstra, great business, great medical. Right? I went there for my MBA. I love it. It's got so many great courses now that you can do a lot with.
Yeah.
Right? You've got St. Joe's, you've got Adelphi, you've got LA, and I'm going to miss some. Don't yell at me. Right? But every one of those colleges offers something for the student.
Yep.
Right? And look, we've got great community colleges too, so if you're really not sure, you can start there.
Exactly.
And take a ton of classes at a very reasonable price.
Yep. I did the same thing. I did my liberal arts degree in Nassau, and I loved it because I had no idea what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to do psychology, didn't know how I wanted to do it. I didn't want to become like a full-blown doctor. I didn't want to do it all, and here I am doing this now.
There's a lot of psychology behind what you do.
I also, be honest with you, everything I learned in college helps me with every single part of my life, with everything I'm doing, so it does help with that. All right, so what about let's just say I graduated college. No, I'm graduating college. I'm getting close to it. And I don't know what to do with my career. I don't know how to do cover letters or resumes. And do you help with that as well?
I do. So one of the things I think a lot of high school parents like is the fact that I do resumes and cover letters for college students. So when you're doing that with me in high school, you're getting that professional looking resume.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I work with you and I help you figure out, again, what are some words to describe you. Make sure that your resume really screams your impact.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's not, I was responsible for this. Okay. No, tell me what you really did. What was the impact you made in each of those roles? And how is that tied to the jobs that you're looking for? Right? If you ask me about my background, I worked for a large bank for a number of years. People sometimes think that doesn't really make sense, right? But I was in charge of employee development and training. I was in charge of operations. I was in charge of customer service. Process flow and development, new product development, and a lot of marketing. So all of those pieces tie together, right, to help me help my current clients.
Exactly.
Right, and so that's, I think, the whole idea behind your resume as you're graduating from college. It's okay if you were the delivery guy for Panini, right?
100%. It helped you. It did that.
So
you
what
were a
did you learn
bartender.
in that?
You learned all these social skills. You learned everything in all these high-pressure situations.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
That's amazing. So when did this actually all start? When did you start the company?
Yeah, so I've been in business now 6 years, 2017. Yeah, it's really exciting. It's really exciting. And we've morphed over the years as I see things that work and maybe weren't working so well. I'm always very open to that. I'm looking for the best possible pathway.
Yeah.
But I think I've held true to my mission statement across the board, which is helping people become the person they were called to be.
I love that mission statement. Those are hard to create. I already know you're good at this.
It took me a long time, but that's what I tell my kids too. Think about who it is that you are and what's your mission statement. because that helps define. And then they go, that was easy for you. I go, well, no, that took me a
me a
long
while.
time to
Yeah,
get there.
exactly.
I can tell you how old I am. It took me a while to get there, right? But to understand that piece of it, so that as I work with you, you think about high school, getting into college, you need to do essays, you need to do applications. I make sure that you do them well,
Yep.
that they really showcase the best parts of you, that your essay clearly describes you. It wasn't written by a chatbot.
100%.
Right?
Yep.
So, and it's okay to not be perfect. It needs to be you.
Authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And because if you can't be authentic and showcase who you are, do you really want to be at that college? Because you're not going to be you.
Yep.
Right? If I can't say exactly what I've done on my resume, I'm afraid maybe to put some of the things, oh, what will people think? Do you really want to work there?
Exactly.
Do
If
you really want to be a part
who
of
you
that?
really are.
Right. So I'm really trying hard to help my kids learn to adult, to build their self-esteem. You know, it's so much more than just trying to get into college or
Yeah.
get your first job. And I think that's what makes my company a little different. We're really focused on the individual. The net, I want you in a great college that you're happy at. I want you in a great job you're happy at. But I want to know you as a person. I want to be excited for you when you just PR'd, right? Because you were like, okay, I just ran my best race ever. Yes.
Yes.
You know?
I was going to ask you your favorite moment of owning this company. What is it? Like, what's your favorite part about this?
You know what? I have so many. Every one of my kids has had a special moment.
And you get to be a part of it.
And I do. And I think, I'm very confusing for a lot of my friends because when I talk about my kids, they're like, your biological kids.
Or your other kids.
Or my other kids. Because I'm right there for them. Good days, bad days. You know, they know that I care.
Yeah.
And that I've really built a solid relationship with them. And that to me is the best walk away.
It's huge, 100%. All right, so let's just say, I mean, I'm sold. If I had a kid right now, he'd be going home with you today, just so you know.
I would take them home.
Oh, so that's where you draw the line, I
do.
guess,
You gotta
Eleanora.
cut
I
somewhere.
understand. Well, speaking of that, where do you actually do the class? Is it on Zoom? Is it easier that way, so there's no driving time and
Yeah.
losing time in your day?
So initially, I was always part Zoom, right? Because a lot of the students I work with are across the country.
Okay.
But even if you're on Long Island, you could be far away. And so what I've learned over the years is that Zoom just works. I have that personality for it. You are not
It
falling
comes
asleep
through.
on the other side.
Yep.
Right? And then that way we're not worrying about the parent's schedule. And it's one more step for the student to really be able to take ownership.
Yeah.
Right? I'm all about becoming an adult, owning the process with them, right? You sign the contract with me, you respond
Not
to my
the
texts and emails. Nope. Parents get copied on everything because I want you to know what's going on with your
Right,
child.
but it's your child's responsibility to do all that.
Right.
That's great. So you
Right.
give them an adulthood before they get to college.
Right.
How to do laundry without having to do laundry.
Well, but that's 100% it, because
Yep.
these kids get to college, and if they haven't had the opportunity to really stretch their wings and have some responsibility, it's really hard when they walk away to college.
And they're like, what do I do? What the heck am I doing? Like,
Yep.
that's a huge thing that you're giving them in addition to everything else that you do. So is there any days that you do not work and you say, no, I'm not working that day?
So it's funny. I've learned over the years to kind of to fit my schedule better to fit me. So
Yeah.
when I'm at my best, my afternoons, I'm my best time, and so I'm here. Right? And so same thing with my students. I work with them mostly in the afternoons. I do Saturday mornings because I know that fits their schedule.
Yep.
I don't work Sundays.
Okay.
Right, and especially I will work for my seniors in the fall, which is very sad for me because I love football.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
But I do have my sacred time. I am a big Packer fan. Don't yell at me about Aaron Rodgers, right? But I do love Packers, and so I always tell my kids, do not call, text, or email me during Packer games.
I will not answer you.
I will not answer you. And for those kids who tell me, they're like, but I don't follow football, what do I do? I'm like, if you can't figure out the Packer schedule, you are not going to college.
Well played.
Right? It's that simple. So, and they always appreciate that.
Yep.
Right?
Because it humanizes you too, that you're a real person that, yeah, I'm all about this, but I have my passions and my love too,
Right.
like, and respect it.
And that actually has helped me with some of my students because I get parents, they tell me, just so you know, they're not really very social, they're very much an introvert, that it's going to be hard for you.
2 minutes later.
Yeah.
You're
yeah.
like this.
We
can
are.
see it.
We are. And I have one young man, it's very funny because he is very quiet. And if I don't get on and start talking football with him, he will start that.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah,
So
he's
you
like,
found that
wait, you
connection.
forgot. And right, and even now watching the XFL, he's like, okay, we're talking that. And I think that's what's good for them, right? They know I am a person.
Yep. Yep.
I do my best to understand who they are. I'm like very forthright with them. You can come to me with art and I can help you get into art schools. I can't tell you if your art's any good.
Yeah.
But there are some really good people around that could, like maybe you could go to the art league. They could tell you if it's
Yeah.
good. I, on the other hand, can just help you with the process.
Exactly.
And I'm good at that.
Yeah.
Right. So I won't call myself a general contractor because I do have a lot of specialties as I work with kids. The one thing I'm good at is learning what I need to help you.
Yeah.
And that helps me because I just love to learn.
Well, I got to tell you, just sitting here with you, you have such a trusting nature that, like, honestly, those of you who have not met Eleanor, you are missing out. Make sure to check her out at Square Peg Square Hole Coaching. But if you do have a kid and you want to make sure they get the best life they possibly could have, do not sleep on this, okay? This is the person you want to come talk to. Eleanor, how do we find you? Where's your website?
Yep. So the easiest way, everything's connected through my website. It's spshcoaching.com.
Perfect.
From there, you can find my YouTube channel. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on Facebook. And if you love videos, I have a ton of Facebook Lives that I do. Every time I go to a college, I love to do a Facebook Live. Gotten better at it.
Those are scary. I'm
They
proud
are
of you for
scary.
doing that.
They
Yes.
are. If I've done a webinar, I put it on my YouTube channel. So if you've missed anything and you want more information, you can go right there and you can catch everything.
I love that. Eleanor, thank you for your time today. This was fantastic.
My pleasure,
Make
Melissa.
sure to tune into our next episode, but make sure to keep tuning into our show today because we have more coming up for you. But Eleanor, thank you again for being here. Make sure to check out Square Peg Square Hole Coaching and make sure your kids get into the right college and know who they really are. Thank you, Eleanor. You were a pleasure today.
My pleasure.
Have
Thank
a great
you.
day. Thank you guys for watching.